Hello everyone, it is Christine here and happy Thrifty Thursday. I've got two bundles of treasures to share with you. The first is from Gail at Gladdy and Flo, who you might remember I visited a few weeks ago at the pop-up stall at Dromana, at the Dromana Vintage Bazaar. And I got an amazing, gorgeous collection of beautifully presented, beautifully laundered vintage linens, little buttons on cards, such loveliness. I'll link to that video. And as a result of that video, a lot of you found Gail as well and headed over and showed her some love. And so she wanted to send me a little thank you in the mail. And I think there's going to be one of her beautiful slow stitch packs in here, which I looked at when I was at the bazaar, but I told myself, Christine, you've got enough in your little basket. Don't take any more. But it will be such a thrill to see what Gail has selected for me to try. And that's just so kind and so unexpected. Then on the weekend just gone, I went over and visited with a lovely lady named Chelsea, who I had previously bought the vintage, or actually antique, English and French laces, including that amazing cuff and collar set with the cross stitch on it. And she has a massive stash of goodies. I believe they're from a friend of her mum's who passed, and she's gradually working her way through, and she allowed me so kindly to come and look at the items there and pick out some treasures to purchase. So that's the second pile over here, but let's not delay any further. Let's have a look in this beautiful package from Gail at Gladdy and Flo. Now I'll include the link to Gail's Instagram below this video, and Gail has started doing something new post all the interest from you lovely folks. Every Monday evening Australian time, she's doing a little sale of items on her Instagram. So she'll post the item, and if you want that item, you post sold underneath the item. It's probably, I think, mainly for people in Australia, because I think the cost to sort of send overseas would be prohibitive, and I'm not sure if Gail does overseas postage, but certainly for those of you in Australia, definitely look her up. And it was so funny, on this Monday just gone, there were quite a few familiar faces on there. I saw Beck from So Be, I saw Kate from The Nest, and I think my buddy Christy was on there as well. I'm not sure if Christy got anything, but yeah, definitely Gail has just lovely items. So this was a package here that arrived in the mail. Isn't it sweet? Just wrapped with, and the burgundy, that's going to be perfect for my my heirloom quilt. I will keep that piece of wool to use, and I'll keep the sweet little label as well. I'll leave that out so that you can see the name. And this reminds me of the vintage, it's almost like the vintage pattern sort of fabric, and there's some more of that beautiful vintage pattern. So I'll just move the rustliness away, but I will keep that that fabric that paper to use for something else. I've actually got to package up another little happy mail to go out. And so aren't these just lovely? Oh, isn't that beautiful? So it's like recycled paper or card. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, it's got a little card. I better read that. It's just a little thank you from Gail. And so, I hope this brings, sharing this again, hopefully that brings lots of lovely other folks Gail's way. But she's just so reasonable in her prices, and just, as I say, just such quality goodies. Now I'm just going to move the paper away from where I've got the window open. It's been a hot day in Melbourne today. I'm filming this on Tuesday in readiness for Thursday. So we'll start with this one. I'm trying not to look underneath and look at anything. Wow, look at this. Isn't that sweet? A little piece of vintage quilt sewn into a little heart. Now that will be lovely to put on my heirloom family quilt. I just love the whimsical shape of that. That is beautiful. Another sweet little heart. Isn't that lovely? Love. So sweet. Wow, look at that. And I think it's, yeah, it would have been originally done in these colours. I was just wondering if someone had dyed it, but no, I think it's been originally done in the different colours. Isn't that beautiful? Love the blues. That will be absolutely delightful to add to a piece of slow stitching. Just having these things, and they're just the perfect size, like for a little needle book. You can even make a little pouch in a needle book out of them that could like hold your thread. When we were doing the housewife, I came up with all sorts of interesting ways to make little pouches and other things. And this one I had actually spotted on Gail's account, and she was very naughty and popped it in this gift package rather than letting me purchase it. And I just absolutely adore that. Look at that little Scotty dog. And both Gail and we both have some Scottish heritage in our family as well. So it's a lovely connection on that level as well. Just love these flowers. But the little Scotty dog, and look at that little stitched ribbon there. And then a little running around Scotty dog. And it's so lovely after we were doing our slow stitch 1800s embroidery. I'm just seeing if I've got mine handy by me here. I've got my little doggy piece. Where's it hiding? No, I can't see it in ready access. I must have folded it up down there. But yeah, just so sweet. Again, the sweet little ribbon. But similar ways that we did the stitching on our little animals in the earlier stitch along that we did. And the beautiful little dog house and the tree. Just lots to observe from these vintage stitcheries. So this one will be going on to my special little saved linens table. I don't even worry if they've got like little holes or little stains. It all just adds to the joy. And this lovely vintage pattern paper. Again, I'll put it away from the window. And then this is one of Gail's lovely slow stitch packs, and what perfect colours for me. You've picked so well, Gail, because again I can see a lot of these pieces being so useful in my vintage family heirloom quilt. Now I know some of you don't like the rustling or the shining of plastic, so I'm going to take it out of its very well sealed package. And I think Gail probably seals them so well because they do go into her little pop-up stall. And I think Gail's going to be putting some more of these together. So definitely, if you're interested in these, check her out on her Instagram. I'm sure you can send her a message as well. She might be inundated, so she might take a moment to come back to you. But yeah, if you did want one of these slow stitch packs, I'm sure she'd be able to let you know either that she'll have some ready on a future Monday, or she would have some in her pop-up stall, because there were quite a few there when I went, and all in different colour schemes. So isn't this lovely? I love the border on it with the variegated thread. So neat on the back. I sometimes turn these over, and some of them you can't even tell back from front, but yeah, so much neater than the backs of my work. Isn't that sweet? And again, that would be just so lovely in a little needle book. But yeah, that's beautiful. I always feel bad taking apart a pack that looks so gorgeous as this, and I'm sure the poster's given it a bit of a buffet around, but it's just lovely little morsels. Some beautiful poppy fabric. Let me keep the little Gladdy and Flo. Trying to sort of keep everything in a good spot. Isn't this sweet? Just a little bit of felted wool, and 2 needles, a pin and another pin. So really these packs would be great for someone just starting out with slow stitching, because you're going to have everything you need to get started. Love the use of the vintage wooden clothes peg. It feels so lovely. It's so smooth. It feels beautiful. And it's got the embroidery floss on it ready to go. Again, Gail makes great use of these vintage cards and has put some beautiful trims on. I love rickrack. As you know, I've got my very precious Nana's green rickrack, which I try and share with folks. And then, yes, a beautiful check in 2 directions and a lovely braid. Another beautiful morsel of fabric. Again, the perfect size for slow stitching, so that you'd get probably a few projects out of, but yeah, wonderful wonderful little sizes. You don't need a lot of fabric. I almost wish when I was starting out I probably should have just got smaller sections, but because I was buying from op shops and places like the Sewing There, I've got some bigger sections of fabric. But really, these sizes, and again that will be, yeah, lovely. Some beautiful ticking. We all love our ticking in our slow stitch. Just so nice to add that, like with a floral or with some embroidered pieces. This one's really, it's almost got a little raised little dots on it. So these are just beautiful vintage fabrics. Just lovely. Lovely fine check, or it's actually a very, very fine houndstooth. Again, a beautiful cotton, or possibly a bit of linen in that even. And so yeah, it's got its label, Slow Stitch Starter Pack, and it's got some beautiful buttons. I love that one. I've got nothing like that in my collection. I haven't actually got one like that either. So they will be treasured. I'll probably put that out on my little table out with the label probably. Until I've already used one of the buttons I got most recently from Gail. It went in my texture piece. This one I thought it was a braid, but it's actually a fabric. But so often these fabrics with these sort of like braid or stripe elements, they're so great because you can use a section of them, but you can also just cut out and use it like you would a piece of ribbon, or to stitch into your work. So handy. Beautiful check. I like the sort of, yeah, the combination of the florals and the checks. And then a lovely panel. Isn't this beautiful with the houses on it? And the vases and jugs. And so this looks like a little piece of a remnant of something, maybe a table runner or something. But lovely, lovely, lovely. Like I can see myself, yeah, cutting out and using part of it, using these little houses, even just using the leaves or parts of it in a composition. Doesn't even matter if things you have cut off, because often you can position this at the edge of a page, and so it does just give that sort of that sense of something. Don't need the whole piece. So never throw away those little sort of cut off pieces at the edges. Often they're great to incorporate. It's kind of, you create visual interest when you don't put something sort of in its full form in the center of a page. You want to kind of have those elements around the outside. Oh, I adore this. This is beautiful, beautiful. It's actually it looks like a linen, but it's just so, it's got a beautiful drape. You know how linen can be a bit stiffer? It's probably because it's just so old. Sorry, the bus just went by. I think it's so old and it's probably been so well washed, and it's just incredibly soft and incredibly drapey. If that was that would make the most beautiful clothing against your skin. As like a summer dress, it would just be a dream to wear. That is gorgeous. I actually want to just put it next to my skin now. I just want to stay like this. One probably shouldn't stroke one's arm on YouTube. You'll all think I'm quite strange, but I wish you could feel this. I wish this was feel a vision, because you need to feel that. That's lovely. I wonder if this was like an old tablecloth. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And that was holding the pack together. And then at the back there is this lovely bit of embroidery. Isn't that sweet? And I love how it's got the variegated pink into the reds. And again, looks like a sort of a hearty element, got little hearts there. That is so sweet. And I think because it's got that sort of burgundiness around it, I might be able to add a few more burgundy elements that might be able to also go into my my slow stitch quilt. This one, I think I'm going to have to find something very special to do with it. I think I'll have to just feel it for a while. Keep it close at hand to feel. So yeah, they are just absolutely wonderful packs. I can't remember how much they are, but I'm sure if you reach out to Gail, I remember that everything on her store was just, yeah, incredibly affordable, incredibly fair prices. And yeah, if you're just starting out, if you're wanting to expand your stash, what a great way to get a variety of goodies. And you know me, I'll never recommend something if I don't think it's good or fair, or yeah, it's just I would, as I say, I would have happily actually bought some of these, but you know, I've got so much fabric, but what a joy to just have little morsels of these. I will definitely be eyeing these starter packs off when I next visit Gail's pop-up store, or if she posts them as part of her Monday goodies. So I'm just going to move that over here, and then I might bring you down because we're going to now move on and have a look at the items that I got from Chelsea that are antique laces and trims. Oops, I better put these were the ones that came from Gail as well. Thank you so much, Gail. I am incredibly touched by your kindness and thoughtfulness, and I'm so looking forward to catching up for a coffee and chat with you when I can get down to Rosebud, Dromana. So let me move these ones over. So I'll start with the buttons because I know we have some fanciers of, I'll just bring you down so I can actually see what you can see. We have some fanciers of buttons, and these are a card of made in England linen buttons. And you'll remember recently I got these ones I think off eBay. I got these, quite a few cards of these linen buttons. I wonder if it's the same brand. It's almost the same blue, isn't it? How interesting. But yeah, much bigger. So I think Chelsea only had the one card of these, unless she's got the others elsewhere in her stash. But I just thought, yeah, they would be lovely to add to my collection. I love that they've got age marks on them. Again, they'll go out probably with my displays, but over time I will probably borrow and use some of the buttons off those. She had this sweet little pin cushion embroidered, came with the pins and the needles already in it. Yeah, I love little pin cushions, and this is just so incredibly beautifully done. I better just keep my my things in the right frame so you can see them. So that was just a few dollars. And then I picked out some lovely morsels. Most of them are small little morsels. And a few of the trims, Chelsea loved them so much as we were looking through that, she took some of them and gave me some little samples. So some of them are just small amounts, but so lovely to have even have the small amounts. So this is a beautiful piece. I'm pretty sure this is tatting. And there's a good few meters of that there. And what Chelsea showed me, let me see if I can find it. There we go. So someone had actually started the 2 rows separately and then was working their way back. Sorry, and let me get back into frame, and stitching these little flowers out of them, and possibly was going to continue on to even add more layers, or maybe just to make a trim that was the little flowers. So you can see it goes from the little flowers through to where it hasn't been then stitched together. So I think there's just those first 2, but I just love that sort of capturing a moment in a maker's creation where you get to see what they were planning to do, and then you kind of have the rest of it. So I think if I ever if I'm using the ends of this in something, I'll probably still leave this little section as my little keepsake of what the maker was intending. And there's nothing stopping me. I could definitely try and teach myself how to stitch the centres of them, or to use these in some sort of way to make some little flowers. But it's actually quite intricate what goes into the centre, if you can see, compared to just the 2 little rectangles. But I loved it even just for the little tattered rectangle pieces. I thought that's just a really lovely, delicate, and it feels beautiful. So I'll probably wrap that around a little display card. I've got these sorts of little vintagey display cards that I've made, and I can just wrap trims around and keep it as a bit of a display. Let's keep looking at the trims. This was a card of just very, very, sorry, I keep going off camera. Very delicate. I think these are little silk worked trim. So this one's a very pale pink and green. Don't don't know how well you'll be able to see it. And then the other one's a beautiful blue and white. Yeah, it's definitely silk. It just feels absolutely gorgeous. So I thought they were little treasures. So delicate. This lovely morsel. Again, probably possibly off a bit of clothing or something, but the weaving in of the design is just so delicate, and just love the detail. Definitely, yeah, silk. So that was a real little treasure. This was a little, probably a collar or maybe a little sleeve piece. In fact, Chelsea realised as we were going through, and I'd picked this one. I think I'd picked this one and maybe another one out that was the same. In the end, I just got the one. She had picked out some others for another lady that was going to be picking up a bundle. And so, yeah, that must have been maybe collar or sleeves plus collar, because there were multiple little pieces. But I just love this little bit of cut work, and the fact it's attached still. I'm pretty sure, yeah, that would have been a little sleeve. And then this one's like a bigger version of this little one, but not, I mean, it's actually a different design, but it's got the greens and pinks a little bit more vivid. So again, just a lovely little morsel. And another, oops, I think that's now that bit of tulle from me. This one's got little rosebuds on it, almost like little ribbon decorations. And this was one of the little, I think her hubby had, or her partner had taken a particular fancy to this one, which has little boy with a dog and houses and trees. So yeah, it was just one little repeat of it here, which is just so sweet. So again, this will probably go when I eventually do a little vintage haberdashery. Yeah, I'll find somewhere very precious. It could even go in a needlebook, could be lovely as well. I am thinking a sort of a pinky coloured needlebook, so yeah, that will be a little treasure to put somewhere. This is another beautiful, yeah, silk again. It just feels amazing, and a beautiful length of it, and it's just so delicate in the design. Just lovely. It's the back of it. And while we're on the trims, couldn't resist this little dog and a cat playing with a ball. Just these vintage trims, and just the detail, just the tiny little flower, the ball with the multicolouring on it, even the shading. I don't know if you can see it, but there's even, yeah, shading on the dog and the cat. So yeah, just amazing. And this one, after we did our recent swan stitch along, the little ducks, I saw this one and I was like, yep, I've got to have that. And yeah, Chelsea was the same. She's like, oh, I've got to have that. So some of them we shared, some of them I took a smaller little sample, and yeah, Chelsea's kept some of the goodies for herself, which is important when you've got goodies. As I said, I'd probably struggle to release. And so this is a beautiful rose trim, again beautiful silk. It's just luscious. This reminds me of Hungarian embroidery possibly, or maybe some of the sort of Nordic embroideries, but again just a delicate little, I think this is more of a cotton one, but beautiful vintage trim. Lovely colours, lovely. I mean, it even goes so well if you wanted to kind of bring in, yeah, your blues and your reds. Yeah, it just goes beautifully. This one's a very old. It's actually almost see-through. Feels almost like a linen cotton. But yeah, I thought it'd be lovely in a little French sort of travel or other journal. Very vintage. This one's got the tiniest little flowers. I think it's probably slightly more modern than the other ones, but it's just so miniature and darling. Got little flowers, little roses on it, and leaves. And then let me just put those so you can see the, oh, you probably can't see them anyway because they're just sitting up there. Then there was this, which Chelsea thought probably came off the bottom of a curtain because in some sections it's faded and in some sections it is actually, oh no, it's this one that we think came, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. No, this one, not off a curtain, but a beautiful, beautifully worn silk trim. I just love the age, the fact it's scuffed away. I think this one Chelsea thought had come off a piece of clothing probably. But it's just lovely. That's the back of it. But yeah, just so old and beautiful. Just love the age in it. Even looks like someone has done a little mend, or unless that's how it was actually attached to whatever it was attached to originally. But even just love the end pieces. So these will be precious to go in something very special. And then this was the one that, Chelsea thought had probably come off a curtain because as you can see, it is super faded. And it does have this little bottom edge, which is even lovely in itself. I even love the selvage on this. It's beautiful linen. But have a look how faded it is here. Like you can see on the back how intense the colours are, right? And then just see how faded it is, but then you get some patches that are slightly darker, slightly darker, slightly darker. And then, you've got ones where it's definitely got a lot more intensity of colour in it. So this is a really good length. And just how fascinating to have the colour variation throughout it. These feel beautiful and cool because I always put things that I'm bringing in the, if I can't sort of give them a wash, which I don't do with any of my trims, just put them in the freezer. Now look at that. That's where it's actually super vivid because obviously this was tucked behind and protected from the light. But I just love the faded quality of this. It just gives it a beautiful softness to it. So again, that's going to definitely be a treasure. But I've got a bit more of that, so I will be able to start using a bit of that in things. I was just having a smell. It's got a bit of a nice powdery smell. I'm always careful because I don't know what causes my allergies these days, so I usually give things a bit of a test when I get home to just make sure I'm not going to react to them in my craft room. But also, I pop things in the freezer just in case there's any, bugs or anything that might, like wool. Certainly don't want to end up with, wool moths or anything like that. Not that I think this would have it, although I think wool moths do like silks and things. Now this was a little collection of amazing little lacy pieces. This one I think was a lot more yellow when I picked it up, and so I just gave everything a very gentle little soak and wash. But isn't this just absolutely exquisite? It's tiny, but it is just so gorgeous. And the detail on it, it's worked on like a mesh tulle and just amazing. So had to have that little treasure. And then these were just two little pieces. Not sure if they were always intended together or they were part of a bigger braid or something. I'll probably use them just as individual little elements or have them matching over a page. So I tended to get just the smaller pieces. Chelsea does have entire clothing and other things. I think she said she has a Facebook page and was going to send it. So hopefully by the time I post this video, I can give you a way that you can get in touch with her if you were interested in buying some goodies. She periodically posts on some of the Australian vintage fabric de-stash sites. That's how I first found her, with her vintage and antique laces. But this is just incredible handwork, and I just love the shape. Just trying to think through what the shape would have been. Would have it been a little sleeve cuff? Would have it gone around the neck of something? I just love that. Another little lovely tiny hand made piece. And some of these had a little label on them, which I assume was from the lady that owned them, saying handmade Irish linen lace or Irish lace. So yeah, just so beautiful. Wish you could again feel them and yeah, look at them in detail. I just love these little standout flowers. Another beautiful little piece that would have been probably off a piece of clothing, whether it was made again as was it a cuff, or was it a part of a collar, or part of down this, yeah, probably down the is that called the placket down the shirt. But again, it's just this exquisite hand done lace, which is just amazing. And then this beautiful little one. Again, it's so delicate. It's got almost like these little wings or these little half moon sort of shapes in there. And then the clovers. In fact, that one I think this was the one that had the pin on, but they actually look very similar to the other ones that I've done. But yeah, I think it was said Irish handmade lace with clovers, and that's what those little ones are. So that's so special. These are just, yeah, amazing pieces. It was just such a joy to be able to bring these into my world. And this one, if you can, I don't know if you can see just how exquisite the detail is. The tiniest of tiniest little stitches, knots to create this almost like a little pebble effect, but at such a minute scale. And then these, yeah, just the stitching and the detailing, and then the beautiful lace around it. I imagine that would have been probably, like, I don't know if this had a whole lot of these pieces on it, but each one, my goodness, the amount of work that would have gone into that. And it's actually an insert that then is stitched into the piece. Just amazing. And the cotton itself is just so soft and so thin. This one is probably ones that I've got similar in my collection, but again, I thought it'd be lovely to get just to be able to do some of our little vintage or antique 1800s embroidery designs on it. And it had some lovely tatting detail around the edge. And then this is the final from that stash, and this would have been a top. And I got it more to deconstruct. It has quite a bit of damage to the lace, and I wouldn't be using it as a piece of clothing. It's also got these little floral and silk flowers on it, which I will no doubt be able to upcycle. But yeah, just the beautiful tatting lace is incredible on it. And there's a lot of lace in it. As Chelsea said, like if she was just selling it for the lace, she would have had to sell it for even more. So yeah, she gave me a good deal, because it did have sort of the damage to it. But yeah, imagine having clothing with that sort of lovely. It is a little bit scratchy. I'm not sure I would have loved. Oh no, it's actually not too bad against the skin. I guess because it is quite dense in the stitching. So that will be lovely. I'll probably enjoy looking at it for a little bit, but then eventually I will take it apart for the lace sections and keep the little flowers. Even keep the bits of ribbon that are threaded through it. So that is. The beautiful stash of goodies from the lovely Gladdy and Flo, and from Chelsea. So yeah, I'm just so loved up with the beautiful kindness from Gail from Gladdy and Flo. Just love her beautiful goodies. And to just have these other little morsels in my collection to start incorporating into my stitching is really special too. So a little Thrifty Thursday treasures to share with you, and I hope you're having a lovely week. Bye everyone.